Hey, welcome to the program. I'm Keith Ittner Sr. together with Keith Ittner Jr. and the money man, Kelvin Kaemingk. We're broadcasting from the Rack Shack Barbecue Studio, and we're talking about the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. RealEstateChalkTalk.com is the place to go for your search tools and vendor contact information to help you fix up that home and get it ready to sell or stay. Get it all tuned up for the holidays coming up. 612-627-8000. That's the number to call if you need help or advice. 612-627-8000. Remember, barbecue is a favorite party food, so when we're coming into the fall party season, give Elliot a call at 612-326-0430, or better yet, go to RackShackBarbecue.com. Click on that catering link, and Elliot will get you all tuned up and ready to go for your holiday parties. This week on the show, Chris Andrisky is here with Minnesota Financial Solutions. We're going to be talking a little bit of politics with Chris. And, of course, Eric Everson from Action Moving is back on the program. Talk about those cross-country moves and all the things that are going on, the activity that's going on regarding packing up your house and getting it moved out. Eric just moved a client for us yesterday morning. Good feedback from the clients. We talk about that a little bit. Kelvin Kaemingk, the money man. What are we going to talk about this week on your end?
Boy, what should we talk about? Rates are low. They don't move. They move a little bit, but not a lot. Money's cheap. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm anxious to visit with Chris a little bit on just kind of the political season. He's well entrenched locally and on the federal level, so we're anxious to visit with him. So we had some really good questions come up last week, too, from callers, so I'm anxious to just run through those with you guys and talk a little bit about the fall market.
You seem pretty anxious, Kelvin.
He's an anxious guy.
You're anxious to do a lot of stuff. I
got a lot of stuff to go today.
Yeah.
Last day of the month, a lot of closings today, so a lot of stuff going on.
Keith Reno?
I think we have enough there to cover our hour, but we'll spend a little bit of time. It's October now, so talking about the fall market and what the expectation is there for sellers and buyers. Of course, we'll get into some real estate discussions as well.
I'd like to start off with that, Keith, if you could. We've had a lot. I've been busy, really busy this week on listing appointments. I know you have too. And
Calvin and I are laughing as we talked about it prior to the show.
What?
Calvin was griping because you weren't calling him back. He was feeling
Felt a little
dismissed.
Feeling neglected?
A little neglected, a little dismissed.
Week.
I said, Senior's going to walk in, he's going to say, I've been busy, man.
He's been so busy.
Can't call you back.
I'm telling you, well, when you have appointments every day of the week, you got to get ready for the appointments, you got to go on the appointments, there's follow-up work to do after the appointment, and then there's all the other work that just comes normal.
He likes to be prepared, like Trump in a debate. He likes to be prepared.
Exactly.
He doesn't wing it at all.
No.
He never wings it.
No. Everything is perfectly scripted.
Hey, touch on I know you're going somewhere, but I want you to touch on the Ryder.
On the Ryder Cup?
Ryder Cup.
Okay, so here was the deal. So Crescent Cove is the nonprofit that Sheila and I support. That is, they're trying to raise money to build a children's hospice here in Minnesota. There's literally only 2 children's hospice facilities in the country, and other like Great Britain has 50 of them. In that tiny little island. The United States could, based on need, could support between 250 and 350 of those facilities, and there are none. Basically, because people don't like to talk about children dying, and there isn't even a word in the English language for it. When your spouse dies, you're a widower. There's no word for a kid when his parents die. You're an orphan. There's no word for when you're a parent and your child dies. There's no word even to describe it because the pain is so unimaginable. So this facility is for the parents, essentially, that when they have a child that is dying and needs constant 24-hour care, there's nowhere for them to go. The hospitals want them out because they need the beds for someone who can get better. So where do you go? They wind up going home and dying in the living room with no real attention. And many times those parents have other children that need attending to, and their lives are going on, and yet 24 hours a day is devoted to this child. So we're trying to raise money to build that facility. That's the backstory. With the Ryder Cup, very interesting. They have the concessions at the Ryder Cup. One concession company has the contract for all of it. When they come into town, they do all the PGAs around the world. When they come into town, they reach out to nonprofit organizations and say, look, if you come and volunteer at the concession stands, whatever you would get paid, we will donate back to your nonprofit, named nonprofit organization. So they get hundreds and hundreds of volunteers to come and work these concession stands, and we were fortunate enough to be able to participate in that on Tuesday and Wednesday, and worked at the barbecue place, which was kind of appropriate for us. So we
Awesome.
were pulling pork and
Tied right into what you know.
Yep, serving barbecue sandwiches and pretty amazing operation that they have they have out there. Yeah, just the logistics, 1 million square feet of surface area they had to lay down on that golf course, and so 80-some concession stands throughout the golf course. Just a tremendous operation.
It's a whole city out there, isn't it?
It is a city out there. I mean, they come in by the semi-loads. Two semi-loads of flowers. Full, just to decorate the place.
It looks nice. It looks like a picture out there. So.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, you're always
Did you
always
see a lot of
helping.
golfers and all that too?
Well, we were there. Of course, we were working, so we didn't have much chance. So Bill Murray was there on that day.
Really?
Phelps was there playing a celebrity round. He was using his gold medals for ball markers.
Was he really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. So it's the most televised event. I understand it's the most televised event other than the Olympics.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Worldwide appeal. I mean, you've got teams from every country or from many countries playing, representing in the Ryder Cup. So yeah, around the world.
Cool.
big deal.
Well, good job.
So fun.
Way to donate your time.
Always trying to do what we can, to make things a little bit better.
So you're going to ask Junior something, Keith?
Do you know the difference in some of these states, the red states and the blue states, as it relates to housing?
Do I know the difference?
Yeah. Are you curious?
In terms of
Do you wanna know?
values?
In terms of values,
I
size,
suppose that
and those
that
types of
some of
things.
these inner city areas that are more predominantly blue, as we see with lower jobs and more government support, that the values would be lower. Let's just say.
It's interesting because the blue states have higher income. The red states have larger houses. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Tell me.
Curious. The red states have larger houses because look at the map and where the red states are.
A little more sprawled out.
In the
or what?
Midwest, yes, land is cheaper. So they're in the Midwest where land is cheaper. A lot of ramblers, ranch-style homes, and those style of house makes those homes a little bit larger. What the interesting thing about that analysis was, and I went down and looked, and there's a table that you can look at. But the blue states and the red states it's pretty distinctive. I mean, you say, oh, there's a definite difference there. Then you've got the purple states, the swing states. So the real question is, who do they most look like? Those states, do they most look like a red state, or do they most look like a blue state? And the way the numbers come down based on housing is, they most look like red states. So the tendency of those people, based on how they live, is they lean conservative. So that's the opportunity then that the GOP has to move those states over, because the people, based on their demographics, tend to lean conservative in their lifestyle, in their housing choices, in their income, in all of those factors.
Interesting.
So all you need is a good candidate to go in there and talk directly to the people, and that's why you've got Iowa, for example, swinging clearly in Trump's direction. And for a change, you've got Pennsylvania, who is clearly now swinging towards. I mean, Trump definitely has the momentum in those swing states, and now he's really connecting well in Ohio. They have a better on-the-ground operation in Ohio than they did the last cycle, with more than twice as many field operators and field offices. And
they want to try to win those states.
Yeah.
Well, it's harder to beat an incumbent also with an open seat. I think there's a little more energy. Plus, Hillary Clinton doesn't bring out any energy
Right.
on the DFL side, whereas Obama was a fantastic candidate.
Yeah, he was.
So is it red states then? Is that the answer?
The red states is the answer. Yeah.
Okay.
The answer is red states. Go red.
Go red. Go red.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back, we'll have Chris Andrisky. We'll talk a little bit about, what will we talk about? Politics, I suppose. We'll get into it. Talk about your company as well. We'll give you some plugs there. And then Eric Everson is in here from Action Moving. Eric Everson is our resident moving pro. We'll talk about his company as well as the hour moves on. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. Give us a call at 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. Remember to visit realestatechalktalk.com. Realestatechalktalk.com. There you can check your home value as we head into the fall market here, or search for your next property at realestatechalktalk.com. That phone number one more time is 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000, and we will be right back.